Hello, everybody. How you doing today? Bored?
Yeah.
Well, it was supposed to be nice, but heaven ruined that.
Sorry.
I was all excited about the weather, and the last class I gave a lecture for, she's like, "Oh, it's supposed to rain today," and then as soon as she said that, this blue sky went to this overcast sky. I was like excited to get out of the house and go outside today, and now it's just going to rain, so my day is kind of shot. I'm gonna blame heaven for all that.
I thought it was supposed to rain until later.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's not your fault. It's going to rain. It's like blaming the weatherman.
Oh, goodness.
You're gonna have to pardon me for a second. I'm gonna yell at the cat. Will you knock that off? He's starting to claw around over there. Bear with me for a second because that usually means he's gonna pee somewhere. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did. Bear with me a second while I clean up his mess. All right, I apologize for that. All right, so I'm going to start off. Today should be a fairly amusing lecture. I'm going to finish up talking about the cover letter here. We missed just a couple lines yesterday about the cover letter. And then we're going to talk about proper interview attire. And that always gets kind of amusing because I'm going to tell you what I got from experts. I am by no means a fashion expert on my own. So what the opinions I'm giving you are not mine about what you should wear, particularly talk about female attire. And I tend to get uncomfortable talking about it because I really don't know anything about it. And so it kind of turns into an episode of an old TV show called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy as I'm talking about it. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I think Netflix actually has a redo of it where a group of homosexual men take a straight man out and give him fashion advice and dress him up. And so it kind of turns into an episode of that when I'm talking about women's fashion there. So to finish up with the cover letter, just make sure you're not repeating verbatim what's contained in your resume, because the idea of the cover letter, again, is to hook them into wanting to read the resume. You include information about personal characteristics that are relevant in the end, the last paragraph there, such as your motivation, time management, whatever other personal qualities may be important to the position which you're applying. And then in the final paragraph, the conclusion of your letter, you should request an interview. Provide information regarding how and when you may be contacted. And you may also suggest that you'll call the company at a specific time to further discuss your qualifications. But if you say this, be sure to follow through, because that's kind of a test for you if you follow through on what you say you are going to do. And then thank the reader for considering you for the position. So a final paragraph may go something like, I hope you find that my above qualifications meet your need. I would love to meet with you in person to discuss these. My phone number is 217-555-5555, and I can be reached anytime between 8 and 5 p.m. And then thank you for your time in reading this, and I hope to hear from you soon. Something along those lines, kind of like that, to wrap up the cover letter. And then, of course, put a professional closing like sincerely, regards, or something like that. So skip a line after the final paragraph, include your professional closing, skip 3 lines and then write your name on the 4th line after the closing or type it there. And when you print your cover letter, this will leave you a space in which to sign your name. Skip another line after your type name and then include the word enclosure if you'll be providing your cover letter and resume in a hard copy, such as through the mail, or attachment if you'll be emailing them. And this indicates that there's an additional document, your resume, that accompanies the letter. And if more than one document is included with the letter, be sure to pluralize that, put enclosures or attachments. Cover letters should be printed on high quality bond paper. Don't just use the regular copier paper that comes out. Make sure it's something a little more stylish, maybe with a texture, or something that has a little bit more weight to it. Just because it adds that kind of professionalism that you're selling a good product. Because don't forget, these are all marketing, advertising tools for your business, which is your labor. Cover letters should be printed on those as well as your resume. And when including a cover letter with an email, you can either upload the entire document as an attachment. I wouldn't do that. If you're using, most people probably use something like Microsoft Word, Google Docs. You don't know what companies have access to those things or use those things on a regular basis. So if you send me a Google Doc and I try to open it up in Word, is it going to mess up with the formatting? Or if I send it in Word and you try to open it up in something like Google Docs, will that mess with the formatting? So you don't want to risk that and everything being askew and looking off and very difficult to read. So my advice to you would be scan it in or save it as a PDF, which is just a picture of the document as it is, and then send it as a PDF attachment. And that's why when it opens up, it looks the same no matter who's opening it up or what program they're opening up, because all they're opening up is a picture of that document. And additionally, when you're sending it, don't write in informal or chat speak, texting type language. Every communication you make should be professional. So it shouldn't be something like, hey, exclamation point, here's my resume that you asked for, LOL. I mean, none of that stuff. It should be just as professional in the body of the email with your attachment as you hopefully have made it on the cover letter and resume. Always use professional business language in any communication you have with it. Okay, so I think that wraps up what we were going to do yesterday. Did you guys have any questions about the resume or cover letter before I move on? Okay, then let's talk about the actual interview itself now. Okay, so you finally got the job interview. They've seen your resume, your cover letter, they're interested. What do you do now? Well, the first step is to research the company you're interviewing with. You should know as much about them as they know about you from your stuff, if not more, as you're going in. The more information you have, the more likely it will seem that you want the job there. The most expensive part of having an employee for a business is that period where you first hire them and you're training them and they're not giving you any value yet. Because at that point, it's not a fair exchange. They're spending their money on you and they haven't gotten anything back from you as of yet. So companies are going to be really careful in the hiring process, and they want to know that you're not just there for a job, because if you're there for a job, well, as soon as someone offers more money, away you go. And or if you don't like the job, away you go, and they've wasted a great deal of money on you. And so they're very careful about this. So the more you know about them, the more you can assess if this is a job that's right for you before the interview or before they hire you, the better off both parties will actually be. And so they want to know as you go in that you know a lot about them, because that demonstrates some interest in that particular job, not just a job. So you should know their name, their locations of their businesses, their major customers, as much about their product line as possible, as well as their corporate or business history. You should also know as much about the specific position that you're interviewing for as possible. You can use the company's website, look for a job description. That'll certainly tell you, what the basic responsibilities of the job are. But you can also go to maybe their news section on their website, looking for people who hold that job or similar jobs. Maybe they got an award for something. Maybe they're going to a certain school or taking a class regarding that. And that'll give you ideas of kind of what they expect as far as growth in there, or what the ideal employee who's getting an award did to get that award, that you can then use to say, okay, this is how I can fit into this job and see what the expectations of them are through awards they've received at work or recognition for classes attended, etc. The next step after that is to make sure you have the appropriate interview attire and that it's clean, and if not, ensure that it gets cleaned prior to your appointment. Don't be the typical college guy, the bro who kind of wakes up one morning and, oh, I got a job interview today. I think I have a suit in the closet. And you look in there and it's on the closet floor. It's all wrinkled and rumpled. It's got a mustard stain on it. Plan ahead for this and make sure you have the appropriate attire, as clean as pressed, that you actually look professional. After that, make sure you have extra copies of your resume and personal references printed up. You go into a meeting, and a lot of these interview meetings in today's world are group interviews. You're not going in there and meeting with someone one-on-one. Maybe the first interview, you might. An interview with HR where they just basically assess you to make sure you're good, and then you move on. There might be a series of interviews that you have to go through in order to get the job, particularly the more the job pays. They want to be very careful. So when you go into these group interviews, people make mistakes. Not everybody might have a copy of your resume, and how stellar would it look when you refer to your resume and they're like, oh, we don't have a copy of it. You go, oh, hey, I got plenty of copies. Here you go. So have those ready for you. Have a nice professional binder to place them in, that portfolio that we talked about. And the binder should include a notebook and a pen and holder as well. And we'll get into why during the interview something like that is important after we discuss the whole dress for the interview type thing. So what do you do the day of the interview as it's coming up? Well, first off, be sure you've dressed appropriately. A job interview is your opportunity to make a great first impression on your potential employer, and dressing for success is just a big part of the interview process, because in one glance, in 5 seconds, I'm going to be able to tell a lot about you. If you come in and you have mismatched clothing, or you're not dressed professionally, or your clothes are rumpled and wrinkled, or you have a stain, what does that tell me in 5 seconds about what you as an employee are? And you can imagine, I see something like that, all of a sudden in my mind, and again, I don't know you apart from what you've written on your resume and what I'm seeing right now. And so I don't have any evidence to override, this about you, that maybe this is just a one-off. I don't know that. All I know is you're coming in, you've got this wrinkled, rumpled suit or dress, a stain on it. You're kind of sloppy. You probably don't care about your work very much, is the impression I'm going to get. And that's why it's important to dress professionally in these things. Now, if you're wondering what to wear in an interview, the most important thing to keep in mind is that you must look professional and polished, because I want to see someone who cares about themselves as a reflection of how they'll care about the work that they're doing. So while your interview attire depends on what job you're applying for, no matter what the position, you should come in looking neat, tidy, and well-dressed. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. The rule of thumb is you want to dress one step above what the position wears on a regular day. So if you're going in to apply as a mechanic and they just wear a blue uniform shirt and a pair of jeans, then a slacks and a polo, probably pretty acceptable. You don't have to worry about a three-piece suit or anything like that for that interview. But however, if you're going into a job where a coat and a tie is the normal everyday attire, well, then certainly you're probably going to want to wear a coat and a tie at the least. You don't have to go whole Step Brothers and wear a tuxedo as a step above, but you're certainly going to want to wear your best suit, a really crisp, clean looking tie. So let's talk about women's attire first, to talk about what are the common fashion things we mean by professional dress for women. And again, this is the advice of professionals. This is not my opinion of what constitutes professional attire for women. I really couldn't tell you. I can see it and make a judgment, but I don't know all the fashion terms and everything. So everything I've got here is from HR professionals who also deal with women's fashion. So first off, a pair of classic black slacks are an essential part of a woman's interview wardrobe. Invest in a pair of quality black dress pants that fit well and will hold up after many wears. Once you have a good pair of dress pants, it's easy to dress them up or dress them down. You can pair your dress pants with a button-down or blazer for a formal look, or with a sweater for a business casual look. With a bit of creativity, black dress pants don't have to be boring. Add a top with an interesting detail like this heather gray sweater with the wrap detail on the hem. It softens the look and makes it unique. Peep toe heels with a moderate heel height like the ones here are fashion forward but still tasteful. If you're looking to dress down your look, add a pair of ballet flats or loafers instead of heels. Guess what? Button downs don't have to be boring. You don't have to limit yourself to the basic white, blue, or pink button down. You can experiment with fabrics like the sheer silk chiffon here, which works great when layered over a black camisole. The shirt's unique camel color also works well, as it's more interesting than the usual colors, but still tasteful and professional. When you're shopping for a button down, just remember that the neckline should be modest. Make sure your bra is covered and avoid showing cleavage. It's also a good idea to keep your button down tucked in unless it's a style that is designed to be worn without tucking in. And you can kind of see where I said that this is going to come across like a fashion show, like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy here, because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just reading to you what the professionals have said. So I know with a catch line at Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and that's what I always feel like after I read one of these paragraphs is, and you'll look fabulous. So this is a great business casual interview outfit comprised of 3 pieces that are simple but extremely versatile. A navy blue blazer is a great addition to your interview wardrobe. Not only can you wear a blazer on numerous occasions, but it works well with many different outfits over a button down, with a blouse, and even with a dress, for example. Of course, a navy blue blazer looks great paired with a simple white button down. It's a staple combination that you can wear with khaki pants, a khaki shirt, and even dark wash jeans in a casual situation or to a startup casual interview. The knee-length khaki skirt rounds out the outfit. A khaki skirt is a good addition to your working wardrobe because it can be worn with many different tops. Like the blazer, it can also be dressed up or dressed down depending on the occasion. Although it's important that your interview attire be professional and conservative, that doesn't mean you can't experiment with color. A tasteful dress in an interesting color like muted turquoise or deep red is a good addition to your interview wardrobe. With a statement dress like the ones here, you don't need to bother with adding jewelry or other accessories. The dress speaks for itself. When working with bright colors, though, make sure the rest of the dress is modest. When you experiment with color, don't experiment with necklines or hemlines. With a bright colored dress, it is more important than ever that the piece covers you appropriately. All you need to round off a dress like this is a pair of black heels or black ballet flats. Pair a button-down top with a V-neck sweater for a versatile look. You can dress the top up with black dress pants or a skirt, or dress it down with khakis or dark wash jeans if you're interviewing at a startup company. What's great about this combination is that it's easy to create a variety of looks with only a few pieces. If you invest in 3 button-downs and 3 sweaters, which all coordinate with each other, you'll have 9 different tops that you can mix and match with different bottoms. Don't be afraid of bold prints, although you should avoid anything too bright or flashy. Animal prints, for example, usually aren't interview appropriate unless they're extremely subtle. A two-tone black and white print like the sweater here can spice up an otherwise boring outfit while still looking professional. If you're going to wear a bold print, limit your outfit to 1 print only and keep the rest of the outfit simple and subdued. A tasteful little black dress is the hallmark of a simple yet refined business wardrobe. Invest in a quality dress that skims the knee. A dress with a structured fit and nice details like the cap sleeves here is professional yet still modern. To give your outfit some life, pair the dress with a pair of textured tights like the ones shown here. Make sure the pattern is subtle though. A sheer stripe, cable pattern, or ribbed look adds texture and interest, but anything that resembles outright fishnets is not workplace appropriate. Finish your outfit with a pair of black heels for a classic, timeless business formal look. A wrap blouse like the one shown here makes for an elegant look, which can be completed with either a skirt or slacks. Add a skinny waist belt for a touch of detail that really makes the top pop. A skirt made of an interesting fabric like the tweed here is a great way to make a business look your own. A menswear-inspired khaki blazer is an extremely versatile piece to have in your wardrobe. Wear it over a button-down or even over a blouse. It looks great with dark wash jeans for a startup casual interview, or navy blue bottoms for a dressier look. The button down here might be a basic top, but the white collar really makes the look pop. With a shirt that has an interesting collar detail, you can button it up to the top, eliminating the need for a necklace. Another option for a unique collar detail is a rounded Peter Pan collar. Whatever that is, I don't know. Finally, a navy blue skirt is a stylish alternative to the traditional black pencil skirt. It's a bit more easygoing than the typical black skirt, but it's still professional, creating a look that is relaxed but refined. Now, on to the men. So while interviews at startup companies or for non-professional jobs signify a more casual look, if you're interviewing for a professional position, It's important that you stick with a formal look. Of course, even within the business formal category, there's a huge range of different dress codes. A formal look like this one is professional, but doesn't look stuffy or uptight, making it a good choice for all types of interviews. A well-fitting gray blazer or sport coat works in both a business formal and business casual environment. And dressed up with a colorful button-down and tie and layered with a cardigan, the look is modern and stylish, but still workplace appropriate. Now, you may have noticed I talked about at the beginning here a startup company. Startup companies, newer businesses, even though they might be in a professional field, in order to attract talent, usually relax their dress code considerably. More established businesses usually have a pretty strict dress code that's based on the culture they've established, where the older guys at the top from a different generation, this is what they expect of professional dress. Startup companies, much more relaxed in that regard. Startup companies are brand new companies that are just getting going. So not sure if the company you're interviewing at requires a business casual or business formal type of dress. Find the middle ground with a khaki blazer and coordinating pants. Khaki blazer is less harsh than a black or gray suit coat. It's a great piece because it straddles the boundary between business casual and business formal. Worn without a tie, it's a solid option for when you aren't quite sure of the dress code. Layer a sweater with a button down for the most dependable business casual look. A navy sweater is a good choice as it matches many different shirt colors, including white, light blue, pink, yellow, or the green button down shirt here. Pair the layered top with khakis, gray chinos, or even dark wash jeans in a less formal environment, such as at a startup company, for an easy interview outfit. A pinstripe navy blue blazer is a breath of fresh air from the typical black suit coat and is definitely a great addition to your interviewing wardrobe. A navy blue blazer can be worn with a tie or without, depending on the dress code. It matches numerous shirt colors and can be worn with khakis, chinos, or gray slacks. Essentially, there's a lot of flexibility packaged into this one item, so you'll get a lot of mileage out of it. Navy blue blazers add a touch of class for a look that's timeless, yet always professional. Ties don't have to be boring, although you should avoid anything too flashy, such as novelty ties with bizarre prints. Don't be afraid to experiment with unexpected colors, like the burgundy ties here, for example. A statement tie like one of these works well with a button-down sans blazer, which can be a good choice in a dressier business casual environment. Coordinate your tie with an interesting button-down for a look that is sophisticated and stylish. Use tact when choosing your button-down, though. In a strict formal dress code, stick to classic colors with subdued prints, like a blue stripe, for example. You have some more flexibility in a more casual environment, especially considering bold button downs don't need a tie to dress them up. And ultimately, don't be afraid to experiment. Figure out what works for you, but make sure the shirt complements your look without overshadowing your personality. Are you interviewing at a company with a business formal dress code, but you're tired of the same old black suit, white shirt, and basic tie? Fortunately, if you use discretion in coordinating your outfit, your business formal suit doesn't have to be stagnant and boring. Work with colors that are modest but still eye-catching, like this light blue tie that matches a checkered shirt. It adds a touch of urban sophistication without sacrificing professionalism. Finally, a gray suit coat and pants still lends a very formal look, yet it is more modern than the dreary black suit. Adding texture to your outfit lends an instant sense of class, sophistication, and style to an otherwise ordinary ensemble. Now, this is where I would kind of disagree with the experts, but I'm going to tell you what the experts said. A textured blazer like the corduroy one here dresses up a button down and slacks without looking stuffy or uptight. And it may just be because I'm in a different generation, but if you came in wearing a corduroy coat, I would automatically think I was back in the 1970s. I would expect you to have some kind of bell-bottom suit pants too. So a tweed blazer accomplishes the same thing. That's a little more, I would think, okay. Pair the blazer with a tie for a more formal environment, or lose the tie for a look that's relaxed but professional. A pristine white button-down, gray slacks, and coordinating tie is a staple ensemble that works in nearly any office environment. It's also an easy look to throw together. Basically, all you have to do is choose a tie and you're ready to go. And with the rest of the outfit so simple, you have some leeway to choose a pattern tie, which will stand as the centerpiece of the outfit. And because it's a simple look, though, it's important to make sure that each piece of your outfit is in good condition and fits well. Very important, guys, particularly guys. Women are a lot more fashion conscious. They know how to take care of their clothes. Guys, we depended on mom to do that, let's be honest. And so a lot of times, we got a suit hanging in the closet. I had a suit hanging in my closet. I never wore for like 10 years, and then something happened. I needed a suit. I went to pull it out. It never occurred to me the sun was hitting that part of the closet, and that shoulder of the suit was faded. It looked stupid. I couldn't wear it. So I actually had to go out and buy a new suit. Things like that you have to be careful of and you have to think of. So just make sure your button down's wrinkle free and clean. Don't let it sit in the bottom of the closet. Even if you're hanging it in the closet, if it's smushed between a lot of other clothes, it's going to get wrinkled just from the activity in the closet. So take it out, wash it, make sure it's pressed. Take it to a dry cleaner even. Take the extra effort to ensure that that and your slacks are pressed and pleated as well. So that's what I had as far as the experts' choices in regards to fashion. Now, when we come back Monday, because we won't have class tomorrow on Fridays, I plan on talking about what my experience as an interviewer has been with fashion choices, and probably be a little bit more frank with you about the choices a lot of people, particularly your age, make in regards to fashion. And so we'll discuss that then. But did you guys have any questions today about what the experts are recommending as far as clothing? Everybody's muted. Unmute you. There you go. Questions regarding any of that? Did you find it helpful, at least in somewhat, to see what the experts are saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, hopefully there's time to still go out and enjoy the day before heaven ruins it for you too. The rains fall from the heavens. So, there's endless heaven jokes here I can make. Heaven. So.
Yeah, no.
Everything go good with you guys? Everything all right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody got enough toilet paper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
I saw
God.
yesterday that the governor said that the stay-at-home order may go past April 8th. So I have no idea what that means for school. I think that the suggestion is out there that maybe we should start hitting digital learning. Now, what form that digital learning takes, whether it's what we're already doing or whether it's something else, I couldn't tell you. I would hesitate to even offer a suggestion on that, but that may be coming, just so you guys know.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, if you don't have any other questions about any of this, I'm going to end this. You guys have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you back Monday.
Yep.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.